Have you ever truly looked at Deadpool? Not just at the red and black suit, or the katanas, or the endless stream of sardonic wit, but at the very words escaping his mouth? More specifically, at the vibrant, almost neon yellow bubble that encases them? It's an immediate visual cue, isn't it? A beacon on the page that screams, "Here he is," and he's probably about to say something completely unhinged, self-aware, or downright hilarious. It's so intrinsically linked to his identity now that it feels like it's always been there, an unchanging constant in a constantly shifting comic book universe. But the truth, as it often is far more nuanced, more evolved than we might assume. When Wade Wilson, the Merc with the mouth, first burst onto the comic book scene in New Mutants '98 back in 1991, his voice, visually speaking, was, well, it was rather ordinary. Imagine, if you will, flipping through those early pages. You'd find Deadpool in all his burgeoning glory speaking from standard white speech balloons. They had a crisp red border, certainly a nod to his costume perhaps, but the interior was a plain, unassuming white. There was nothing about these bubbles that screamed unique, nothing that hinted at the fourth wall breaking, meta-aware character he would soon become. They were just words, like any other characters. At this point, he was simply another mercenary, albeit a chatty one, in a world full of extraordinary individuals. His visual voice had yet to find its own distinct rhythm. Yet, as Deadpool's personality solidified, as his unique brand of madness and self-awareness began to truly blossom, the artists and creators behind him recognized a subtle but profound need. How do you visually differentiate a character whose internal monologue is often external, whose thoughts spill out onto the page in a way no one else's do? How do you capture that distinctive, slightly unhinged voice? The answer, it turned out, lay not just in what he said, but in how it was presented. The evolution began subtly at first. The red border, which had been a standard accent, started to shift. Perhaps it was a gradual darkening or a lightening, but eventually that border took on a distinct yellow hue. It was a visual hint, a whisper of what was to come. And then the transformation was complete. The interior of the speech bubble itself became a vibrant, unmistakable yellow. But it wasn't just the color. To truly capture Deadpool's unique cadence, his slightly mangled, chaotic yet strangely coherent stream of consciousness, a special font was introduced. It wasn't perfectly neat or classically typeset. It felt slightly askew, a little rough around the edges, much like Wade himself. This wasn't merely an aesthetic choice, it was a stroke of genius in character design. This yellow bubble, with its unique font, became Deadpool's signature. It became a visual manifestation of his distinct voice, separating him from every other character on the page. When you saw that yellow, you knew it was him. You knew you were about to be privy to a thought, a joke, or a meta-commentary that only Deadpool could deliver. It became a visual shorthand for his unique position in the Marvel Universe, a character who often knew he was a character, a voice that spoke not just to other heroes, but directly to us, the readers. It was a brilliant, almost meta-textual way to underline his fourth-wall-breaking nature, making him an anomaly, a lovable outlier. And then, in a truly bizarre, utterly Deadpoolian twist, this very signature, this visual conduit to his innermost thoughts, once malfunctioned in spectacular fashion. In Deadpool 30, 2017, during a crossover event called Till Death Do Us, a story arc that saw Deadpool dealing with the consequences of his turbulent lifestyle, the unthinkable happened. Deadpool's yellow speech bubbles, those sacred containers of his personal narrative, his fourth-wall-breaking asides, his private anxieties and chaotic musings, began to glitch. What did this glitch entail? It meant that his internal monologue, usually reserved solely for the reader's eyes and his own twisted mind, became audible to everyone else around him. Imagine the utter chaos. Here is a character whose very existence often hinges on his direct, private line to the audience, suddenly having his deepest, most unfiltered thoughts exposed to his peers, his enemies, his wife. It was a moment of profound vulnerability for a character who rarely shows it, a stripping away of his unique shield. The reactions were, predictably, priceless. Other characters were baffled, confused, and sometimes deeply uncomfortable by the sudden deluge of Wade's unfiltered thoughts. It was like seeing the stage manager backstage suddenly thrust onto the main stage in the middle of a soliloquy. It proved in the most hilarious and embarrassing way possible that even Deadpool's fourth wall-breaking narration, his very unique connection to us, isn't immune to technical difficulties. It highlighted just how precarious and unique his narrative position truly is. The very visual shorthand that defined him also had the capacity to betray him, revealing the chaotic inner workings of his mind to an unprepared world. But the next time you pick up a Deadpool comic, take a moment to truly appreciate that bright yellow bubble. It's more than just a splash of color. It's a journey. It's a testament to how visual storytelling evolves, how creators find ingenious ways to deepen character and connect with an audience. From humble beginnings as a standard white box to a unique, unmistakable beacon of madness and meta-humor, Deadpool's speech bubbles tell a story all their own. And that moment of malfunction, when his private thoughts became public, reminds us that even the most well-established conventions, even the very fabric of narrative, can be delightfully, chaotically broken. What do you think about Deadpool's unique visual voice? Did you notice the evolution of his bubbles? Share your thoughts and favorite Deadpool moments in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this glimpse into the subtle art of comic book storytelling, please consider subscribing for more thoughtful explorations of the stories we love. Until next time, keep reading and keep looking closely.